All right, good afternoon and welcome to the December Hogs and Pigs briefing. My name is Lance Hoding and I serve as acting chair of the Agricultural Statistics Board at NASS. This briefing is for the Secretary of Agriculture and other policymakers at USDA to better understand the content and context of today's report. We are very pleased to have Joe Cooper, Senior Policy Advisor to USDA's Chief Economist, join us as Secretary Designate today. So welcome, Joe. Before I turn things over to our presenter, I have a few notes for our live streaming audience. The Hogs and Pigs report is considered a principal federal economic indicator report. The Office of Management and Budget provides specific guidance on how this important report is to be released. OMB statistical policy instructs policymaking officials to refrain from making public comment regarding the content of this report within 1 hour of its release. Therefore, we will not be taking questions from the public during this briefing. NASS staff are available for phone and email questions, and NASS will host a social media event at 4 o'clock Eastern Time today. We strive to have everything presented at this briefing match the official record. However, should there be any discrepancy, always refer to the official published estimates. With that, I'll turn things over to Travis Averill, Chief of the Livestock Branch. Travis.
Thank you, Lance. Welcome to the December 2023 quarterly Hogs and Pigs Agricultural Statistics Board briefing. First, I'd like to provide an overview of the December 2023 Hogs and Pigs survey data collection process. On the map of the samples sizes for all 50 states in the survey, a total of 6,341 operations were surveyed this quarter. Data collection started on November 30th and finished on the 12th of December. Normal collection methods were used to gather the data through mail, telephone, internet, and face-to-face interviews. The primary data items collected were total inventory by class and weight group, along with sows, farrowing, pig crop, and pigs per litter. This quarter, revisions for U.S. hogs and pigs. There are revisions for both years in 2022 and 2023. All inventory and pig crop estimates from March of 2022 through September 2023 were reviewed using final pig crop, official slaughter, death loss, and updated import and export data. The table has the initial estimate, current revisions, net revision, and the current estimate for the respective quarters here. For all hogs and pigs, net revision for March of 2022 is an increase of 1.4%, and current estimate is at 73.2 million. For all hogs and pigs, the net revision for June of 2022 is an increase of 0.2%. Current estimate is at 72.7 million. For all hogs and pigs, net revision in September 2022, that's an increase of 1%. Estimate is at 74.5 million. The pig crop for June to August of 2022, net revision is up 2.2%, and estimate is at 34.3 million. For December 2022, all hogs and pigs, net revision is an increase of 2.5%, and the current estimate is at 75 million. Next, here we have the table for the 2023 quarters that we revised in this report. All hogs and pigs net revision for March of 2023 is an increase of 1.7%. Current estimate is at 74.1 million. This is a second opportunity to revise June of 2023 data. The all hogs and pigs net revision for June is up 1.6%. Current estimate is at 73.6 million. For the March to May of 2023 pig crop, the net revision is up 1.6%. And pig crop estimate is at 33.4 million. This quarter was the first opportunity to revise September 2023. All hogs and pigs net revision for September is up 1.4%. Estimate is at 75.3 million. In the pig crop for June to August, net revision is an increase of 1.1%, with the pig crop at 34.6 million. So basically, let's get into the substance of today's report. The December all hogs and pigs is at 75 million, up slightly from previous year's total. The breeding hogs is at 5,999,000 head. That is a decrease of 3.3% from 2022. The market hogs is at 69 million head, up 0.3% from previous year. The top 5 states are listed in the bottom left-hand corner. Iowa leads the way. They're up 3% from previous year. Minnesota's in second. They're up 1% from 2022. North Carolina is down. They're down 6% from previous year. Illinois is unchanged at 5.5 million, where Indiana wraps up the top 5 and they're up 1%. To the right of is the chart of the U.S. quarterly hogs and pigs inventory from 2014 to present. The December inventories are represented by the orange squares, and the previous quarter for September is that green diamond there on the chart. Here's a map of the United States for December 1, 2023, hogs and pigs inventory with comparisons to 2022. The top numbers is the inventory as a unit of 1,000 head. The bottom number is the percent change from previous year inventory. As you can see, there's 46 states on the map here that have colors on them, and 20 states are increasing from previous year. And those are in blue. The darker the blue, the larger the percent change is from 2022. There's 20 states here also that are in red. They're decreasing from 2022. And the larger the percent change, the darker the red it becomes. There are 6 states unchanged from last year, and those are in gray. Couple notes to take away from this year's report. There's 2 record highs, and those are illustrated by the pound sign, follow the inventory, and those are in Iowa and Pennsylvania. There are 6 record lows, and those are followed with inventory or ampersand sign, and those are in California, Delaware, Louisiana, Maine, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and South Carolina. As I stated on previous slide, market hogs is at 69 million. So let's look at the breakouts of the market hogs by weight groups. First, the less than 50 pounds is at 21.7 million head, down 0.5% from 2022. The 50 to 119 pound weight group is at 19 million. They're also down 0.5% from previous year. Next, we have the 120 to 179 pound weight group. They're at 14.9 million, up 0.7% from last year. The last group we have is 180 and over. They're at 13.3 million, up 2.4% from 2022. Below is a table of the quarterly distributions of weight groups since December 2020. Next, we have the sows farrowed for September to November 2023 at 2,968,000. That is down 124,000 from previous year. In our September hogs and pigs report, that we had the second intentions at 2,930,000. In our June hogs and pigs report, we had that first intentions for this quarter at 2,953,000. So next we move to our second intentions for the December 2023 to February sows farrowing. They're at 2,900,000, down 1.8% from years prior's actual farrowings. In the September hogs and pigs report, NAS had the first intentions for that quarter at 2,912,000. First intentions for March to May of 2024 sows farrowing is at 2,907,000 head. That is down 30,000 head from the previous year's actual farrowings. At the bottom is the U.S. quarterly sows farrow chart since 2014. The sows farrow for September to November are the green squares. Second intentions for December to February is the orange diamond. And the first intentions for March to May is the purple triangle. Next, we have the pig crop. Pig crop wean for September to November 2023 is at 34,617,000 head, a decrease of 0.2% from previous year. Pigs per litter weaned is at 11.66, up from the rate of 11.22 from last year, and also up 0.05 from previous quarter's rate. As you can see on the chart of the U.S. quarterly pigs per litter from 2014 to current, from 2019 to 2022, the rate had tapered around 11. Although the last 5 quarters, we have seen a record high for the respective quarters. Trade expectations compared to NAS estimates as a percent of previous year. The trade ranges are gray, the trade averages are the black circles, and NAS estimates are the red squares. Of the items on this chart, all hogs and pigs, market hogs, and the intentions for sows farrowing for December to February, along with the first intentions for March to May of 2024 are within trade expectations. Whereas trade expectations are higher for breeding hogs and lower for the September to November pig crop. The all hogs and pigs chart of ASB first estimates versus final estimates for the last 10 years. The ASB first and final estimates are blue and red line respectively. The trade ranges are illustrated with the light gray. Just a note on this chart, you can see 5 of the last 12 quarters, the ASB final estimate has been within trade expectations. Here's a table of the U.S. breeding herd inventory for the last 10 years and provides a disposition and utilization. The previous quarter breeding herd was at 6,179,000 head. During the current quarter, hog producers slaughtered 906,000 head and at the same time added back 726,000 to the breeding herd. The current quarter's breeding herd is at 5,999,000, which is down 205,000 from last year. Sow utilization is calculated from the current quarter sows farrowed, 2,968,000 divided by previous quarter's breeding herd and equates to 48%. The Canadian imports by quarter for feeder pigs and slaughter hogs. In the fourth quarter of 2023, Canadian feeder pigs and slaughter hogs imported accounted for 1.7 million head compared to 1.6 million in 2022, an increase of 6.2%. The Canadian quarter import values are above the respective quarter. Feeder pigs as a percentage of the imports are the light blue. Of the imports from Canada, 75% are feeder pigs, or 1,238,000 head compared to 1,182,000 to 2022. That is up 4.7%. Where slaughter hogs as a percent of the imports are illustrated by the darker blue. Slaughter hogs accounted for 438,000 head compared to 396,000 in 2022. That is an increase of 10.7%. For the U.S. prices received by farmers for hogs and corn, the chart provides the prices for the last 10 years. The hog prices are blue, the corn prices are red. The most current prices are for October. The November prices will be released next week on December 29th. To the right of the chart are the hogs and corn prices for the last 6 months, along with the ratios. The 6-month ratios range from 8.99 to 12.86, and all are below the historic break-even of 15. Selected upcoming NASS reports in front of you today. You also have the cattle on feed, cold storage, and peanut prices reports. December 29th, agricultural prices. January 2nd will be the CARE report for cotton systems, fats and oils, and grain crushings. January 5th will be dairy products. January 12th will be cotton, ginnings, crop production, the annual crop production report, along with both the grain and rice stocks reports. January 19th, cattle on feed, and then wrap up January, we'll have the cattle report along with the sheep and goats report. Reminder, the 100th Annual Agriculture Outlook Forum will be held February 15th and 16th at Crystal City Gateway Marriott with the option to attend in person or virtually. Registration is open. Later today at 4 p.m., as Lance stated, I'll be hosting Stat Chat to answer any questions concerning today's release of the December quarterly hogs and pigs report. All reports are available at the NASS official website. I appreciate everyone attending today's live streaming session for the December quarterly hogs and pigs ASB briefing. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of your afternoon and happy holidays. This concludes today's